I think there's this idea that you are nothing without this prophet.
There are people back here.
You should be praying that you will be given to a husband who will prove faithful to the end.
And so if that prophet's been missing from your life, you feel like empty. You're missing a piece of yourself. And so you look for someone to take up that role.
How old are you? 11?
They're in a cult. Their brains are not their own.
No, ma'am. No. You're not going to decide the outcome of this?
Sam Bateman has utterly shattered my family into a million pieces.
It's a world now in the rearview mirror for Faith Beislein, or so she thought. Once a member of the FLDS Polygamous cult, she severed ties the older she got when she realized what was happening was not at all normal or legal. First, it was the infamous FLDS prophet Warren Jeffs, now in prison for life for sexually assaulting underage girls he called spiritual wives.
Warren Jeffs gets locked up. The FLDS church is looking for some type of leadership, somebody to build them, to bring them to God. And Sam steps into that role.
2019, Samuel Bateman emerges as a self-proclaimed prophet, taking in multiple wives and child brides as young as 9 years old.
It's very disgusting. So these young girls that were roped into these situations, they didn't know anything about sex. And now, how are they going to know what normal is?
Bateman's manipulation and abuse would span 3 years across Arizona, Colorado, Utah, and Nebraska, holding activities he called sacred ordinances and sacred missions. Court documents now show those involved sexual activity with the young girls and his adult wives simultaneously.
A lot of the manipulation from both Warren and Sam, I would say, comes from their ability to get people to not trust their own intuition.
Can you shine a light on some of the words or phrases or the way that they would talk to you to instill that thought?
So, for instance, you'd bring up a question like, well, this is confusing to me. They would be like, are you questioning God?
While Faith had left this painful world behind, many of her sisters, her brother, and her mother had not. Now, they were following Sam Bateman and being married to him.
I knew that my little sisters were being abused. That's when I knew that I had to do something.
In 2021, Faith sent in a tip sheet to the FBI.
I didn't have a lot of hard evidence for them, and I think that's probably why they couldn't act.
You don't just wake up in the morning and say, I want to be a pedophile today. So it's been growing until it got to 2019.
Matt Browning is a retired undercover detective who took down white supremacist groups and now serves as intel and infiltration of cults for law enforcement.
How do you think he got away with it for as long as he did?
He is a closed, secretive society. That's how. This whole thing is human trafficking at its finest. That's all they're doing. They're trafficking kids for the purpose of sex.
But trying to guise it under
and disguising it under religion.
But everything would change in August 2022.
What's your name, sir?
Finally, something would give them away, more sinister than even authorities could believe.
I talked to an FBI agent that told me, Matt, you will, and at that time he teared up, you will not believe what happened to these kids. Sam is a twisted individual that because God told him to do it, he's not going to change.
Brianna Whitney for Arizona's Family.